Take Apple, add Microsoft, add Google, Amazon, and a few more giants for taste. By the rough estimates economists love to argue about, you still haven't matched the peak value, adjusted for inflation, of one company that existed 400 years ago. It sailed under its own flag, it minted its own coins, it commanded its own army, waged its own wars, and signed treaties with kings, because it was in nearly every way that matters a country pretending to be a business. It was called the Verenigd Oost-Indische Company, the Dutch East India Company, the VOC. And this episode is about the 2 centuries it took the biggest company in history to die. Amsterdam, 1602. To fund spice voyages too expensive and too risky for any single merchant, the Dutch invent something that will outlive every empire on the map: the public company. Over 1,000 ordinary investors, merchants, widows, at least one household made buy shares in the VOC's founding subscription. The world's first IPO, and because investors might want their money before ships return in 3 years, Amsterdam invents the fix. A place to sell your shares to someone else. The world's first stock exchange. Within a few years, it has the world's first short seller too, a disgruntled ex-director betting the price down. Everything you've watched in this series, every bubble, every crash, became possible in that one Dutch decade. The Dutch state granted the VOC a monopoly on all trade east of Africa, and powers no company has held since, to build forts, raise armies, coin money, and make war. It used all of them. At its height, the company ran dozens of trading posts, from Cape Town to Nagasaki, commanded fleets that dwarfed navies and moved nutmeg, cloves and pepper at markups that today would embarrass a luxury brand. And honesty requires the dark page. Its spice monopoly was secured with atrocity on the Banda Islands in 1621. The company killed or enslaved almost the entire population to control nutmeg. The biggest company in history was also at times among the most brutal. Profits this large have rarely been innocent. For shareholders, the 17th century was a dream that seemed structural. Dividends averaged high double digits for decades, sometimes paid in cash, sometimes delightfully in actual spices. The share price multiplied. Amsterdam became the richest city on earth, its canals lined with merchants' palaces that still stand. The VOC seemed less like a company than like weather, a permanent feature of the world. Remember that feeling. You've met it before in this series, and it has never once been true. Empires fall fast. Companies rot slowly. Through the 18th century, the VOC's costs quietly outgrow its moat. Its officials enrich themselves through private side trading the company officially banned and unofficially ran on. Wars with England bled the fleets. Competition undercut the spice margins that had once been magic. The company borrowed to pay the dividend. Pause on that. Borrowing to pay shareholders. The corporate version of printing money to defend a stock price, John Law's sin in a powdered wig. The Dutch began joking that VOC stood for Vergaan onder corruptie, perished by corruption. The joke was an autopsy report delivered early. The end came without a crash. That's what makes it eerie. The Fourth Anglo-Dutch War in the 1780s shattered Dutch shipping. The company survived on state credit like a patient on a drip. In 1796, the new Dutch government took it over. On the last day of 1799, its charter was simply allowed to expire. The largest company in human history ended not with a bang, but with a calendar page. Its debts were absorbed by the taxpayer, the ancestor of every too big to fail you've watched this season. Its territories became the Dutch East Indies and eventually Indonesia. The paperwork outlived the empire. The VOC's warning sign spans 200 years, so it's easy to miss in one lifetime. No moat is permanent. Monopolies rot from the inside precisely because they can afford to. When an institution starts borrowing to pay the rewards its glory days promised, the glory days are over. The balance sheet just hasn't been told. That's true of companies, pension systems, and empires. Tomorrow, the empire that conquered the richest minds on earth and was ruined by everything it dug up, Spain and the silver that poisoned it. A new fortune falls here every day. Subscribe.